Hello and welcome into this small info video. Just wanted to raise a bit of awareness that we're gonna have a big Harry Potter tournament this September with 18 different runners and all of the 8 PC games. It's gonna happen on the Pottathon channel, and we have 2 groups of 9 people each. The seeds 1 to 9 race on this weekend and the seeds 10 to 18 on this weekend. So mark those dates in your calendar and would be great to see you there. But let's go over the more important parts. Let's talk about the rules. The rules for this tournament are quite simple. We have 2 groups of 9 runners each, who are all within their groups roughly on an equal skill level. We draw 1 game out of the 9 Harry Potter PC games, and everyone is gonna race in that game. Whoever gets last in that race is out of the tournament and eliminated. After that, we draw the next game, which has not made an appearance yet, out of the PC Octofecta, and everyone's gonna race that game, and so on until we only have 1 person standing and everyone else is eliminated. But let's get to the point that's probably the most interesting thing for most people here. Let's take a look at the competitors. Seed 18, Pruden from Wales. Don't be fooled by him being the lowest seed here. He's currently in a really good 3rd spot in HP6 PC, definitely within reach of world record. And whatever game he picks up, he usually gets very good at very quickly, which is a very good skill to have, because right now he only submitted PBs for 3 out of the 8 games in this tournament. So he will definitely be kind of a dark horse. Let's see what he can do. Seed 17, Lushak from Poland. Despite not running Harry Potter games for too long, he already managed to snatch up a 13th place in HP2 any %, which I would say is probably the most competitive Harry Potter category out there. And on top of that, he has good times in all of the HP2 main categories. I also applaud the courage to sign up for this tournament with only knowing 3 out of 8 games, and I apologize for mispronouncing the name because I totally did that. Seed 16, Finn from the United Kingdom. He has established himself as kind of a glitchless expert over the past month, running pretty much every category available, and in the process actually getting multiple world records in HP1 PC 100% glitchless. And we all know how hard it is to even complete a valid run of that category. I also have to thank him for stepping in on really short notice for someone who had to drop out, despite him not really knowing most of the games at that time. Seed 15, Mark from Poland. Most people will know him from HP5, where he already managed to get the world record in any % 17 times already. He has 22 main game world records in total, all of them in HP5, and also on top of that achieved a couple of world records in Harry Potter category extensions, and who would have guessed it, they were all in HP5. But who can blame him? After all, he's the one who found most of the strats in this game and pushed any % down to the sub 2 hour mark. Seed 14, Imac from Poland. He picked up most of the games specifically for the sake of this tournament alone, and he already sits in a 4th place for HP5 and HP6. The most notable thing about that though is probably that he got his HP6 time with keyboard, an achievement that people deemed to be impossible. On top of that, he's also the world record holder for multiple Brother Bear categories, and that's pretty much Harry Potter but with bears after all, right? Seed 13, Lazar from the United States of America. The biggest Harry Potter speedrun OG in this entire tournament, can look back to 35 main HP PC world records across all games except HP4. 9 of those alone were HP1 PC any % world records. And on top of all of those prestigious world records, Lazar was also the first one to ever complete all 8 HP PC games in a row, back in 2016, running the very first Octofecta. Seed 12, Gerdi from Germany. His undoubtedly best game right now is HP 7.2, where he sits in a very good 4th place in striking distance off the world record, but he is also, and maybe mostly, known for a variety of other things, like resetting twice during HP 5 in an Octofecta and still wanting to finish the run, or overriding his save in HP2 jumpless right before getting a world record. I'm definitely looking forward to the new memes he's gonna create this tournament. Seed 11, Dino from the United Kingdom. Currently his best position in the 8 Octofecta games is a 14th place in HP 7.1, But don't be fooled, he's a very consistent and very good runner in everything he runs, which is 13 different Harry Potter games right now. Even more impressive considering he joined the community in late 2020, so that's a lot of games learned in a very short amount of time. Also one of the few runners that actually does the LEGO games, and he holds 5 LEGO World Records. Seed 10. Raku from Poland. Even though his best position across the 8 PC games is a 9th place in HP 7.2 right now, arguably his biggest achievement is getting into the top 10 for HP 1 any percent in only 3 months of playing the game, and that game is a notoriously hard one. He was also the person who initially came up with the concept for this entire tournament, so that's pretty cool. Seed 9. Mylan from the United States of America. Undoubtedly the HP 4 god in the Harry Potter community, already claiming 7 main world records for the PC leaderboard. But he doesn't stop there. He also got 27 world records in all kinds of Harry Potter handheld games, a lot of those also in HP 4 GBA and HP 4 DS. On top of that, he's also the founder of one of the coolest tricks in Harry Potter speedrunning, which is the infamous Mylan cycle in HP 3 Carpe Final. Seed 8. Matthew from England. Even though he isn't even running the games for a year now, he already managed to leave his mark in Harry Potter speedrunning. Getting the world record in HP 5 Insane Percent, for example, or just learning 11 different Harry Potter games in less than a year, and those were not just easy ones. He also likes to learn 100% on top of any percent, which culminated in his probably biggest achievement so far, running all 8 PC games 100% in a row, a run that's only been completed by 3 people ever, and that is about 20 hours long. Seed 7. Sammy from Belgium. He already left his mark in Harry Potter speedrunning by claiming 3 different category extension world records in single year categories. And apart from that, also by completing an Octofecta, all 8 PC games in a row, which has only been achieved by a couple of people. He was the 9th to ever do it. And since he knows 18 out of the 23 games required, time will tell if he can also be the 3rd to ever do a full series. Seed 6. Zasta from Czechia. In his career of Harry Potter speedrunning, he was already able to claim 10 main PC world records, and despite him starting as an HP 1 only speedrunner, most of them are actually in HP 2, where he changed to after a while and then just destroyed every single world record that was standing. The biggest achievement in that was actually breaking a 5-year-long world record reign in HP 2 100%. Seed 5. Katashi from Germany. He recently crowned himself the undisputed king of HP 7.2, claiming his 4th record in total, and with that holding all 3 main category world records at the same time now. A feat made even more impressive by the fact that he took them all from nobody else than Flo. The fact that he got 5th seed without submitting a single time for 7.1 also shows how good the rest of his Octofecta times are. Seed 4. Fract from the Netherlands. He can look back on a long and successful career in Harry Potter speedrunning, snatching multiple PC world records in total, 5 across the board in HP 2, HP 3, and also the multi-run trifecta. And even though most of them happened quite a while ago, he's definitely still very competitive nowadays. Let's see if he can clutch out another 121.51 during this tournament. Seed 3. Sinner from the United States of America. The absolute HP 3 god in the community, 34 world records in that game alone across all categories. But not only good at that, also at the other games of the Octofecta on PC, 49 in those 8 games in total. And on top of that, he can also look back to some really impressive milestones, since he was the first to achieve a 49, a 48, and a 47 in HP 3 any percent. Seed 2. Beaver from Canada. One of the absolute OGs in the game, and that shows in the HP 2 PC world records alone. 48 different ones across any percent, 100% and glitchless. Across all consoles and all games, he has held over 160 world records in total. And on top of that, he was also the first person ever to speedrun all 23 main Harry Potter games in a row, which is a run that sums up to 35 hours in length. Seed 1. Flo from France. I don't think I have to say much to him. I think I can just let the numbers speak. 21 world records alone in HP1 any percent, so that's just one category. Also far over 100 world records in all of Harry Potter across all consoles. If there is a game and he picks it up, you can almost guarantee that he's gonna get the world record. Also still the only one ever to hold all 8 PC any percent world records at the same time.